Hello guys, welcome in Unified IT Solution. As of now, we discuss the history of the Splunk and the roles of the Splunk, which is available across the industry, and we can get the job in any of the roles. Today, we are going to discuss the component of the Splunk. Let's start. So Splunk components. So they are these are the most important component of this Splunk, which start from universal forwarder, indexer, search head, deployment server, license master, cluster master, and deployer server. So let's go through the overview of each and every component. So what does universal forward? So forward are lightweight agent on data source to collect and forward data to the indexing tier. The types, there are two types of forwarder. One is universal forwarder. So it's collect the data and forward it to original form. Like original form is nothing but raw data with minimum resource consumed. So it's a since it's a lightweight, it's across the size of this agent is across 120 MB, which is the latest one I see it today itself. So its size around 120 MB, and the second is heavy forwarder, which collect the data, pre-processed data, forward data with additional feature like data transformation, filtering. So the major difference between universal forwarder and heavy forwarder, like universal forwarder is very lightweight, but heavy forwarder are nothing but it's Splunk complete Splunk enterprise package, which could process the data and transform the data. Transform in the sense it could parse the data and filter. Filter means whatever data that you want to store and what you don't want to store. So it could, and also it could perform the masking, the data masking in the sense, let's suppose we have the personal data like PAN card or Aadhaar card data. So you guys have seen, like out of 16 character, 12 character in Aadhaar card, so only four character, last four character will be visible in same in mobile number. So that is like a masking of the data. You will see XXX, right? Rest of the uh, record you will see rest, but only four character of that data will be visible. So that is PI data. So universal forwarder cannot perform masking, and heavy forwarder can perform the masking. So next component is indexer. Indexer receive data from forwarder, it index it, make it searchable. The store index data in various index based on the configuration. Function indexer perform data indexing, search, storage operation, enable fast and efficient data retrieval. So indexer is a storage for this Splunk. So our most of the storage is consumed on the indexer itself. So all our raw data or filtered data comes and store on indexer. So the TBs of the data will be reside on indexer based on your license and based on your storage. Next is search ad. Search ad provide the user interface for interacting with Splunk. User run search, create report, visualize data using Splunk web interface functionality. Search ad process search request from user, distribute search job to indexer, present search result through the web interface. So search ad, you can say it's a Google for this Splunk. Let's suppose we are searching anything on Google. We open the google.com, we type some keyword like we are looking for some information from the Google, and it will give you the result. So similar like in Splunk, whatever the data stored into Splunk, so we can search, we can log into search, and we can, there is a search option, we can type our search and we can see the record, and we can perform operations like we can create alert, report, dashboard, and we can save it there. So all the knowledge object like search, report, alert, dashboard, this we call knowledge object, all should be reside on search ad itself. So it's a direct interacting with the customer, so they can log in and create their knowledge object over search ad. Deployment server. So deployment server is used to manage configuration across multiple Splunk instance. It centralizes the configuration management, ensure consistency across the Splunk deployment. Deployment server distribute the configuration apps add-on to your forwarder and HF based on the defined server class and configuration. So what is the major role of the deployment servers? So any common configuration that you want to deploy across your thousand of universal forwarder or hundred of universal forwarder or HF, so that that configuration can be managed using the deployment server. So it's a centralized configuration server which could manage, which could delete the configuration across all of you, could update the configuration or across all the universal forwarder. So it's a centralized configuration across to maintain the consistency. Consistency nothing but it's the same configuration across in your environment. So it's help us to it save our lot of time uh, uh, to load the configuration on number of Splunk universal folder and HF. License master. So license master, like his name is license, since his name like license, so and master, so it's used to manage our license on our Splunk environment. So if you buy 1 TB of license, so we'll upload that license file on the license master, and it will keep track on your data, like how much data is passed to the stored into the indexer, and it will keep the track. If it exists exceed the limit, then it will trigger the warning email to the customer that you are exceeding the limit, and there are certain warning. After that it will post the searching. It won't post the indexing, it will just post the searching from the search ad, but data indexing will be continue. So there are certain condition, if there are certain warning and condition if you are exceed the limit. So license master could be a dedicated server, or could be you can place the license or the cluster master or HF. And deployment server should be a dedicated server. The next is cluster master. Like since it's a master, so all the configuration, everything, all the configuration. So it's a master who manage the entire cluster. So cluster, there are two cluster: indexer cluster and searched cluster. So all the configuration across the indexer, it will manage by the cluster, and somewhat configuration is managed by the managed for the searched cluster as well. So it coordinate to the indexer cluster and searched cluster, and manage the consistency, like take the request from searched and pass it to the indexer, and also it will manage the also it will manage the replication factor and search factor. These are the two major topics that we are going to discuss into the next video. Deployer server, this is also the one of the major component in the Splunk on-prem setup, like Splunk enterprise, not in cloud. So so nowadays the new concept cloud is also come into the picture. We will talk about that, what is Splunk cloud. So if you are using the Splunk on-prem environment, so deployer will also perform a very important role in your environment. So the deployer, like since deployer and deployment, so don't be confused between them. Deployment is used to manage the configuration or universal folder and heavy folder, where deployer is specialized instance that plays a key role in managing and distributing configuration change across a search head cluster. Search head cluster is a group of search head instance that work together to provide high availability and load balance for search and reporting. So group of server, like group of Splunk instance, and it will act like a search head, and across all them to manage the centralized configuration. Deployer play a important role, which will push the configuration on one of the master search head, and it will sync, other will sync from there. So deployer will push the configuration on UF and HF, where sorry deployment push the configuration on UF and HF, where deployer will push the configuration on the search head cluster. It will manage the consistency over the search head member. Yeah. So guys, today topic is over, and these are the old component. If you have any doubt, you can put the comment, so we'll try to clarify it if you guys have any doubt. So this all component is belong to Splunk on-prem, Splunk cloud. Maybe in next video you will find that Splunk cloud setup, how that will be a new concept, and how that will work, and what are the component we manage into this Splunk cloud. Yeah. Thank you guys. Please share, subscribe and support our channel. Thanks a lot.